Hey, what's up? It's been over a week since I posted the vlog. Been on and off about whether I want to keep it going or not. I think I'm just gonna try to keep going. Momentum is a thing, and I need that in life. Speaking of which, I've been recently inspired. Good friend of mine, Amber, has jumped on and is joining me in my workouts at the gym. She hit me up and like asked if I had the ability to bring guests to my gym, which I can. So she's been coming along with me, and it's hilarious because she's like tiny, but like I'm training her on like compound movements and stuff like that. And I don't really consider myself an advanced lifter, but to the point. But it's all about persistence and it's all about showing up. And she's been showing up for the last week and a half, and it's kind of cool to have the company there. But also just like a reminder that working out with people and being social is a good thing, and sharing your knowledge, even if you don't think it's super knowledge, is like positive. And helping someone who isn't used to that environment get used to it is a mitzvah. It's a good deed, but also I'm benefiting from like having some more accountability with showing up and getting some workouts done. I'm trying to be persistent in all levels of life. I'm looking into getting an elder care lawyer and exploring nursing homes to try to get my dad some placement, but meanwhile also trying to figure out the financial bits around that. And keeping up with work and my important work of delivering. I had a really good night tonight, and only like just over 4 hours I managed to grab $120 in DoorDash and Uber Eats. So I'll show you today, January 16th. I got $40 from DoorDash, but I only did not take many orders. I had a double Five Guys for 9 and 7 on either side. It doesn't show on your pay page that it's like a double order, but that was a pretty decent one. The Burton's Grill is a nice restaurant in Worcester. That was a decent one as well, $14. But it was Uber Eats that kind of came through today, 78.82. The breakdown, again, not like $22 double order from Wegmans, which is a great grocery store to shop at. Uber Eats just added Wegmans, but like Wegmans is like on point with where their stuff is and finding things, so it's an easy shop for me. 2-item Target order for $15, which was pretty key. This $27 banger from this pizza spot in Grafton, which is outside my city. When I dropped it off, I got this by keeping my phone on while I was delivering the Burton's order, and it was a few extra minutes maybe for me to get from that drop off to this restaurant, but the order was ready. I knew that restaurant, that pizza takes a while because it's new. It's really popular, and I was just there like last Saturday, and they got slammed. So I know like it's a wait there. So I think I played it right. Like I got there, and the order was ready. So I delivered it, and the lady was kind of like a little petty. It was just like, yeah, well, it better be good pizza. I waited over an hour. So I'm thinking that this might have been a glitchy order, that maybe someone else had picked up the order, had gotten to the restaurant, realized it was nowhere near being ready, so they just kind of gave up and dropped it, and then it came to me. So that's why I think like it was like a little extra bounce on that order today, and I had a $14 order to start things off. A pretty easy shop at Shaw's. A really good start to my work week. It's Thursday night. I took 3 days off and just like took some time off and relaxed a bit, watched some movies, went to the gym, all that stuff. So pretty good start. We'll see where the weekend's at. Was reminded, I also came home and like tried to, I did an hour of writing, which I was super excited about because I lost some serious momentum on the book I'm working on. But I'm trying to get back at it. I'm trying to get that like slow grind of like, listen, if you do this an hour a day, it's going to like really add up. Been reading this book. On top of that, The Obstacle is the Way, which kind of by Ryan Holiday. It's sort of like I'm reading it kind of like a health self help book sort of thing, but like it's really it's very inspired by Stoic philosophy. So I don't know, just trying to gather viewpoints, trying to stay consistent with like good habits and things to build on, um, and just trying to like keep my feet moving and bouncing. Got a good walk in today as well. I got my 12,000 steps. So things are looking up. I think reminding myself of like nights that aren't so great or incidents that um, could be better. I'm reminded of a few. I was reminded by a customer like texting me like to drive safe. A really nice sentiment to send to your delivery driver. It's always good that you have your some customers who are just like obsessed with like getting the stuff that they ordered, and that's fine. Like they paid their money. Like it's probably really expensive. I know it's expensive to order stuff sometimes. um but like some people are like really they're mindful that like you're a human being, bringing them things because they're not for whatever reason going out and getting their own stuff. But I've been thinking a lot about safety and being safe, and like knowing that I'm not gonna be moving on from deliveries at some point and getting into something else. This is kind of a transitional time and transitional year. And I've been thinking about a couple of close calls I've had because the weather's about to get bad. It's mid-January. We should be getting more snow than we've gotten, but we've been, knock on wood, we haven't gotten hit too hard. So there's always the weather element of being safe. There's the traffic element. Like there was a fatality like last Friday night in Worcester, and I'm pretty sure I drove by the aftermath of it because there was one main roadway that I use a lot that I couldn't, and I was wondering what it was, and I just read today in the news article that was a terrible incident. So that makes me mindful. Apparently, also like on Facebook, I saw like there was like an explosion downtown in my city, or like a manhole cover like got flown up into the air or something like that, and they had footage of it, and I was just like, that's an intersection I drive past 3-4 times a day, probably doing deliveries. But I gotta say that like I'm thinking back that there are two main incidents. I'm trying to think about some tips for like staying safe out there in delivery land. Maybe the two most scariest incidents. One time I was delivering alcohol like late. It was like right before a store closed. I like was delivering a bottle of vodka and a case of beer, and I got to the property, and I get to the door, and there's two men standing outside, and one is yelling at the other. Like so the basically the instance was like one dude was already super drunk, and he was like ordering more booze, and his friend, his good friend or cousin or somebody was there trying to like stop him, like trying to intervene, and I was like immediately thrown into like a pretty stressful situation. So after a minute or so of like kind of witnessing this, I was like, I'm turning around. I can't deliver this. And I remember that it is the right choice. It's what you're supposed to do. But like at the same time, I was just like, I was a little paralyzed with fear. Just kind of kept my cool, walked away, and contacted that was a DoorDash order, and they were just like, yep. I was like, I can't return this to the store. Obviously, it's closing. Do I bring it back tomorrow? And they're like, no, you just go dispose of it however you want. So my soberness, I was like, all right, well, I think I gave the bottle of vodka to a friend, and the beers I like just slowly would give one to my dad every now and again. So I disposed of it. I made use of it. But the scariest story that I have for you, this happened just under a month ago. It was a similar Thursday night. There was some snow, but not enough to like really stick on the ground. But it was snowing, and it was dark, and it was like my last order of the night. And I got a Dave's Hot Chicken order for like $10 to bring it outside of the city to a suburb. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. It was maybe the last order. So I picked it up, no problem, until I saw the name on the order looked like this. What does that look like? You know? In the moment, I was like, all right, maybe somebody is like just being a wise ass, or someone's just, wants to like do a prank name so that, the kid at Dave's Hot Chicken is going to say that out loud, and, like I don't know what kind of satisfaction they're getting from that, or they're either that or they're making some kind of statement, in the world today, and like what have you. I just kind of rolled my eyes that like, that this is the way you're choosing to express yourself through a freaking food app. But I persevere. I'm just like going about doing the delivery. I start realizing about a mile from the delivery, I'm on a highway. I'm on 290 East, going into Shrewsbury, and I'm realizing that like my map is leading me to what's supposed to be an address, like it was an actual address, but as I was approaching it, it became apparent that like I was going to stay on the highway, that I'm dropping off at a spot on the highway, and it just like didn't look right to me. And all of a sudden I start approaching, I see through the darkness and the snow, a truck on the side of the road. And I've delivered to truck drivers before, but usually the truck drivers are like in the truck driver parking lot where the trucks sleep at night, and they're all like, all the trucks are in the lot, and it's like, I've never had an issue. Like I've delivered and, handed it to them, and I get it. Like not every, trucks can't go through the drive-through like at a lot of restaurants. But this was like different. I was like, first off, and as I'm maybe, 500 yards from this truck, I'm just like, I start getting text messages from the customer from, being like, that's me, pull over. And I kept driving. Like in that moment, I was like, nope. My inner instinct, especially with this freaking name, I was like, nope. I got off at the next exit. I called DoorDash, and I was like, there is no way I'm delivering this. Give me a strike. They call it a contract violation. Give me a strike if you want to. I don't care. Take the $10, pay out of my pocket. Like, this is dangerous. Not only is it dangerous, like, because of the snow and the darkness and pulling over on a highway, but like, I deliver to addresses like that I understand. And this person somehow like configured their phone so that the side of a highway looked like an address. I don't know how they did that, how they pinged that. And I was like, who's to say this isn't a serial killer on a burner phone, like choosing this, like it wasn't even under like a lamppost, on the side of the highway. I was like, this is sketchy as all get out, and is seriously the only time I've ever had a delivery that I was like, afterwards, I kind of like did a cold chill, like, did I just avoid like some crazy? So luckily, not luckily, DoorDash, I don't know if they really care about us or not, but they do care about the optics of like, of people dying doing this work after the fact, yeah, they've got little, call 911 through the app kind of like accessibility and stuff, and they didn't strike me, they didn't punish me or anything. Like they canceled the order. I think I even kept the money for the order. I don't even think they like docked my pay or whatever. Especially after I pointed out the name on this order, I was like, you should flag this, whatever. I don't know, there's no follow-up. I don't know any aftermath of it. I was just like, did what I had to do to stay safe. And I hope you guys all do that too. So be mindful, be safe. Take care.